Last week on That Wasn't the Plan, we sat down with Melissa Kegler, marathon swimmer, ice mermaid, and the woman who held the U.S. ice swimming distance record for exactly 30 days before it was taken from her. She told us about her journey from quitting her college swim team to becoming one of the most accomplished open water swimmers in the country. And then she told us she was going to get that record back. This week, she tells us how. And trust me, nothing about it went according to plan.
So that was my journey.
And then, so like coming into 2025, it was like the winter that almost wasn't. You
Mhm.
have been searching for cold for
Yes.
months and months and months. And
Wow.
then when we spoke a couple weeks ago, you were like, I don't, it's now March. Winter, is
Mhm.
kind of, we didn't really have much of a winter here in the Northwest. Um, and you were like, "I just don't think it's gonna happen this year. I can't find
Yep.
cold water anywhere." And you were looking in Colorado, you were looking in Tahoe, all over the Northwest here. There just wasn't cold enough water.
Literally everywhere. Mhm.
You can't have too cold,
Mhm.
because then you run into safety issues. So it has to, it's a Goldilocks zone for this ice swimming.
Yes,
And
yeah.
then like a fluke thing happened here. I was sitting on an airplane last Friday. We were delayed 5 hours because overnight we had this massive winter storm and we got snowed
Mhm.
on, and I bet Melissa woke up that morning and was like, "Hell yeah." So
Florina!
So talk to us, like, when you kind of had this knowing of, "This is it. I actually know where I'm gonna go," or how did you figure out where you were gonna go?
The storm was it was like that divine intervention for ice swimming. So that this entire process started actually January 2025. And at that point in time, I was looking at doing an ice swim in Alaska in
Oh, oh,
late July. And so I had this theory because I wanted the world distance record for females at that point. And I have this theory that a summer ice swim is possible in cold enough water. So you have the glacier water coming in that's super cold, that's below what is required. And it mixes with the seawater that is above the required ice swim temperature. And there is going to be a zone where those two waters mix, and you will be able to find that location. Like, I call it the unicorn swim, but you'll be able to find this location where you can basically put yourself in the perfect water temperature, because if it's too cold
right.
and it's too warm, there's going to be a convergence area. And if
Mhm.
it's in the summer, maybe I can get sunshine in 60 degrees. I mean, how great would that be to be breathing in warm air, to have
Wow.
sunshine, and be swimming at
Mm.
exactly like the exact temperature you need?
Yeah.
And I thought, okay, it's going to happen. So, put that plan into place. Lots of other dramatic issues leading up to that. But long story short, 2 weeks before the swim, my boat canceled, and there's a
Mm.
mechanical issue on the boat. Um, they put all their charters out on other boats. So I said, okay, cool. Called the other boat to just get an idea of what it was like, and they didn't have a swim platform. And I thought,
Oh, yeah.
well, that's kind of important specifically for
Yeah.
me. And at that point in time, it's 2 weeks to go in
Yeah.
the middle of the summer in Alaska, which is prime
Oh.
tourist season. And I said, you know what, there's been too many signs this year of
Oh.
this swim not working. I have to take
Mm.
those for what they are and just call it and be done with it. So I said, okay, I'll take the month of August off, and then I'll get ready to do the swim in the winter. So I thought it would be a great idea to go back to Colorado, because that's where it all started. I know the
Mm.
people there. I have really good memories there. Colorado's notorious for having a lot of sun, and
Yep.
like warmth of that sun feels so much better because you're so
Mm.
further up, and I'll deal with the altitude issues. Yeah, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to go to Colorado. And so I started putting my crew together, got in touch with Colorado people, and said, I don't know when it's going to happen, probably around Thanksgiving. The Colorado team said it's probably going to be a little later, maybe early December. So that's what we're gearing for. And then early December came and went, and they said it's probably going to be mid-December. Like, okay, it's almost go time. Mid-December came and went, and now it's Christmas, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, flights are going to be so expensive for last minute booking. And then I got the word like, hey, you should be on standby for this coming weekend. I'm like, okay, it's here, we're ready. And then Christmas, New Year's came and went. And it was like that for 3 months. It was so warm, and the weekend finally came where it was really going to happen, and it had dropped, and then they opened the dam for flood control in Colorado, and it raised the water temperature back up. And I just thought, okay, so that's something I wasn't expecting. That wasn't the plan. And how am I going to what control do I have, and how am I going to prevent that from happening in the future? And short stories, you can't. I mean, it's not up to anybody when the government, opens the dams. So in the meantime, I'm flying in and out of Lake Tahoe, trying to train at elevation, taking a whole bunch of data in Tahoe because, Tahoe, everybody said an ice swim is not possible, which I think it is, which is a separate topic for this coming year. But like, I'm spending all this money on flights to Tahoe. I'm looking at, the Great Salt Lake. I'm looking up at Alaska. I'm looking anywhere, even locations here in Seattle, and there's just nothing. Like, none of the water is cold enough. It's all 1 degree above what it needs to be. And my safe spots, which are like spots that notoriously always drop that are too cold, weren't even cold enough. I don't know what to do. And I was so focused on Colorado, I missed all the windows of the temperature dropping on the East Coast. So I couldn't take any advantage of those spots because now it was too cold or frozen over. And it was just this back and forth every 2 weeks. I mean, you imagine the stress of England, and everybody said, oh, it's a lot like the Dover coaster. I said, no, the reason it's not the Dover coaster, which Courtney is your wait window when you do the English Channel of like when you may go, but it's a week. So you have a weather window of a week, and they kind of slot you in when the weather's optimal. And I said, no, this is not the Dover coaster, because the Dover coaster is a week, give or take a few days. This has been 5 months now. I mean, it's like, imagine gearing up and getting emotionally ready, financially ready, and organizing crew to go with you who are spending their time, taking time off from work, switching shifts. And then you have like the logistics of getting permits, depending on the park you swim at, like permits ready, dealing with emergency responders and crew who are there to help you, and doing that every 2 weeks, ramping up, and then just being like deflated.
And then you have a full-time job.
Yeah, and I'm telling my boss every 2 weeks, hey, I may be gone last minute this week, Thursday and Friday. And it was just to continue getting excited and then being let down and disappointed and have no other option, knowing that you're trying, and then also feeling the pressure of, I have to balance work with this. I have to get all my work done. I have to get my crew ready. People that change shifts for you that, now their schedule is screwed up. People that have bought tickets that, may not be refundable. All this stuff is just, it's so much pressure. And, the mental or the physical strain of your body too, of, having to continue hypothermicizing yourself for that long, and, training and just being mentally checked in, like it definitely took its toll. So my coach, Dan Simonelli in San Diego, he said, for Colorado, you got to put a cut date on it, and that's it. So once it hits this date, if you haven't done it by then, you just got to be done with it to like mentally relieve yourself of the stress. So I did, and it instantly helped. Like, I was having nightmares. I was having like just all this stuff related. And the minute I said, no, I'm not doing it anymore, it all stopped. But then,
well, there you go.
But then what am I going to do? Like, I haven't achieved my goal. So I said, I'll give the Pacific Northwest 2 more months until March 30th. I have jury duty that I've deferred twice. That I can't get out of. So
you're like, Judge, but I'm doing this ice swim, so you got to give me a couple.
Understand, Your Honor, please.
I sent in an excusal request. I didn't know what to put, so I put that on there. It got denied. So I thought, okay, I got to serve. So March 30th is going to be the date, and that's going to be it for the Pacific Northwest. And I mean, by that time, Emily, it was just getting warmer and warmer.
Yeah.
Tahoe is now no longer an option. There's just literally nothing. And then all of a sudden, I heard, hey, there's a storm coming to the Pacific Northwest. And I thought, okay, this could be it. So what I did learn through the past 5 months is how to track how the meteorological effects of storms and weather
Yeah.
affect upwellings of deep lakes. Hang on, this is Grayson.
Oh my
Grayson?
gosh.
Is Grayson a Maine
I have
Coon?
I was gonna say
He's I don't know. He's just he's a big
he's a
boy.
big old guy. He's a big boy. Oh my
So he definitely
goodness.
needs his like snuggles.
Oh,
Snuggles
little
now
buddy.
too.
He
You need
oh
more
my
Grayson.
gosh. Is it
So-
legal to have lions where you live? 'Cause
That is one big kitty. So yeah, you've gotten so good at forecasting and predicting like what variables can predict water
yeah, and
temperature.
it's not just the weather conditions. You have to look at the depth of the lake and how
Okay.
probable is upwelling going to occur, and where are the shallow and deep parts of the lake, and based
Right.
on that, based on the depth, where can I swim, and there's which way is the lake flowing, is going north to south, south to north, where are the water inlets, where the water inlets coming from. Like there's so many things that
Jeez.
in the course of this 5 months I took data on, and I got to know really, really well. So the storm was coming. I knew about 3 days before the storm hit that it was coming, and I thought, this could be it. So monitored very, very carefully. And there's one buoy out on Coeur d'Alene, and then I had 2 friends out there that was taking measurements for me. And
Wow.
finally made the decision, like, this is it. It's either going to happen or it's not. And if I don't go and it did drop, I'm going to forever regret it.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah.
My mom's on vacation in Hawaii. She flew to Seattle last minute.
God. Oh wow.
So she flew to Seattle last minute, and the passes then closed. And I thought,
Jesus.
oh my gosh, now I can't even get over there. We were trying to book flights, and all the flights were full. And so I thought, okay,
geez.
well, I don't know how we're going to get over there. 2 seats finally opened up, booked them, and we were 5 minutes from leaving to the airport when I got a ping on my phone that the pass opened up.
Oh.
So I said, okay, we're getting in the car and we're going because we have to get over the pass. It was super stressful. And because otherwise I was going to have to like get a rental car, and it was going to be other complications. My bags weren't exactly flight ready because they had been packed for 5 months. I didn't even know what was in my bags at that point in time. So got in the car, got over there, was so excited, measured the lake. It was 0.1 degrees warmer than required. And my heart just kind of like sunk at that point in time. So we looked at the weather forecast. We thought it was going to get cold enough. And so I said, okay, I'm just going to make the decision. We're going to check in the morning, which is Sunday morning. And if it's cold enough Sunday morning, I think I'm going to have 24 hours to get the swim in. So we're going to check Sunday morning, and then crew's just going to have to travel on Sunday. And let me tell you, like, the caliber of friends you have to have and the net of friends you have to call somebody Sunday morning and say, can you come out to Coeur d'Alene in an hour? Can you get in the car and just get out here? And so like a big prop to my crew for like sticking through me with this, and just the testament of relationships, because
just the community.
it's so good. And that's exactly what happened. It was cold enough in the morning. They came out Sunday. We measured Monday morning and said, okay, we're going to do the swim today at noon.
And that was it.
And that was it. So we worked with the fire department to be available, because I didn't think it was going to hold until Tuesday. And Tuesday was my original day. I was going to do the swim. And I just thought, the way the weather is shaping up, I think it's just not going to be there Tuesday. So did the swim, got through it, which is a really bad swim. Got through it though, measured just for giggles. on Tuesday, and it was too warm. So the weather held for 24
Just for
hours.
you.
And it was
Wow.
the only 24 hours in the entire winter of the Pacific Northwest that it happened. So,
Yeah.
and
Wow.
all the pieces fell in place. Like when you really, I mean, I could talk to you guys for another hour about this, but like all the different pieces that fell into place coincidentally to make this happen. There was too many things to have worked out for it to be pure coincidence. I mean,
Yeah.
it was
Absolutely.
definitely something that was meant to work at this
Yeah.
point in time.
Mhm.
It was.
That's amazing. Wow.
So, you had mentioned, and our other friend Susan, who's out there crewing for you, had mentioned about halfway through that swim, things got rough for you. What happened?
Oh my gosh, it was a lot sooner than halfway from
Okay.
my recollection. So I got in for the swim, and because it was so rushed, it wasn't like the standard swim prep that I normally do.
Yeah.
But I thought, well, it's literally now or never, and now it's officially spring, so it is the never piece until next season. But I got in the water, and it always feels horrendous. I mean, when you get in, because it's cold. I mean,
It's 40 fucking degrees.
And you're allergic to cold water. So
Yeah, and you're
Exactly.
allergic to cold.
So I get in, and we made probably 3 or 4 different course adjustments before the swim because it was a nasty day. It was overcast, thick clouds, raining. It was cold. The air was cold. The water was cold. Like it was just cold. And we finally settled on a course. And normally what happens is I get in, I do a little breaststroke, I do a few strokes, like I get my breath regulated, and I go on my way. And I do my safety check-ins. I get done. I say I'm never going to do it again. I go through hypothermia, and then I'm like, oh, I'm going to do it next year. So what happened this time is it felt horrible from the beginning, and it just got worse from then on. My first length was about 532 meters was like my first loop change, and I didn't even make it like that first length. And I stopped and I told Susan, like, I feel horrible. My stroke didn't feel right. I didn't want to tell her something was wrong, but just something didn't feel like it should. I was like sucking in water through my nose and mouth. Um, my stroke just felt not right. And I was getting like cold brain fog in the first 500 meters, which doesn't happen to me until usually that, 1,000, 1,200,
Yeah.
almost closer to the mile. So I was questioning myself, thinking, I don't know why this is happening because this isn't like I've done enough ice swims where I know this is not normal. So get done with the first length and come back. And I remember telling Susan, I said, like, I don't think I'm going to make it. I think I'm going to bail. And I don't think I can do this. And at that point, it's what, 700 meters in of 2,800 meters. Like, it's pretty quick to bail. And then I thought, oh my gosh, but everybody's out here. Like, I don't want to bail. If I'm thinking I'm going to bail, though, my head is coherent because I'm aware I might do it. So I got a little,
There
I
you
got a
go.
little
Yeah.
bit more to go.
That's smart.
And I told them ahead of time. So this is probably an important detail. I was out sick for 2.5 weeks beforehand, like that crud everybody's been getting where
Yeah.
they're on the couch. So I only had probably 2 swims the 3
Jeez.
weeks leading up to it, which I don't
Holy
recommend,
smokes.
but
Yeah.
it's what it is. So I thought, okay, well, I don't know, maybe I'll see something in the water to distract me. And so we start going back, and there was just nothing, and I was getting bored. I thought, okay, now I'm getting bored, so I'm not with it. I don't like to swim. I'm cold. I'm complaining. I'm bored. Like, this is shaping up to be a really bad experience.
Yeah.
So I decided I started feeling unsafe at that point in time too.
Oh.
And I just felt like I was too far away from the car because I was feeling so cold. And I had in the original course a loop around the plane because I thought there's like a dock with seaplanes at the end. And I thought, oh, that might be fun to go explore halfway. So I'm
Yeah.
going to build a plane loop. And I didn't want to do it. And I said, I just want to go back and do like short loops in front of the car. But then I thought, oh my gosh, if I do short loops in front of the car, it's going to take forever and it's going to just take so long. So, hey guys, this is going to sound crazy. And I know I just told you I'm not going to do it. I'm aware I'm telling you something crazy. So don't say I'm delusional. I want to go around the plane. So we
Smart.
shifted back to the original intended course, went around the plane, which got me to 2.2K, which is my previous longer swim.
Okay.
And then it was just literally, so I did short 0.15 kilometer loops just back and forth. So at any point in time I could get out. I was already in the bay by the warming car, so I felt safe. But it was a struggle. I mean, it was doing breaststroke because I was never able to regulate my breath the whole swim.
Oh,
It
wow.
just,
Oh, geez. That's
I think
hard.
my lungs just weren't back from being sick. So I was doing a lot of breaststroke, which added a lot of time. And every now and then I just wanted like a little bit of a break. So I would do a very fast float. But then I realized, oh, I wonder if like I look like I'm unconscious in the water. So maybe I shouldn't do the float.
The dead man float.
Exactly. I just wanted like a little bit of a break and I just wanted to float there. But you know, when you're face down on your stomach floating, it's not a good look.
Yeah, the fire safety boat next to you is like, who the fuck are these people? She's dead in the water.
Yeah, so I like got out of that state really quickly and said, that's not a good idea. So, but then it was literally my safety kayaker every 10th, like 0.1 kilometers. I would say, hey, where are we at? You're at 2.2. Hey, where are we at? You're at 2.3. Hey, where are you at? You're at 2.4. Hey, what? I'm in the same place. F. I mean, this is too much. And then finally I get to 2.8 and then I start to think, ooh, maybe I'll go to 3K and like hit that magic 3K button. But I said, nope, that's not my plan today. I feel awful. There's no purpose in going to 3K.
That is so smart that you were able to say that to yourself and comprehend and listen and be like, not today, like save it for another day.
Yeah, because the original plan was if conditions lined up and they were these magic conditions, I would go for the female world record.
Okay. What is that record?
3.8K. So I would essentially have to do, 3.9. And I was in no position to add on another 1,000 meters at that point. The conditions were like the opposite of what optimal would be. So I just thought, ooh, maybe I could do 3K, but I thought there's like, for me, it was either 2.8 or 3.9. Nothing in between was going to satisfy me. So we're done. I hit my goal. It's good. I'm going to get out. I want to go back to the house afterwards. I rented one with a hot tub because I thought all I want to do is I want to get pizza and I want to sit in that hot tub after this.
I want to do that right now. I'm cold. Just listen to this story.
Get out and got to the car, went through the normal like hypothermia things. The difference with this hypothermia time though was super cool. So the fire department personnel that was helping out, she was mentioning she was doing a research paper or project on like cold water and hypothermia. So this was the first hypothermic experience I've had where I've had somebody sitting with me that coincidentally is studying the exact thing I'm going through. She's getting to watch somebody go through the process end to end.
For her.
And I'm getting to ask her all my questions about what my body's doing and she can answer me. And so it was kind of like it was truly a hypothermia can be fun experience.
Yes. Put it on a t-shirt.
I got to like get all my questions answered and, she got something from it. And I thought, okay, the swim was absolutely horrific. I would never do that swim again, like in those conditions. So I learned a lot from it. But the rewarming process was so much fun.
It was educational.
Yeah, it was educational. I wouldn't say fun, but it was super educational because I got to learn. And the biggest question I had is when I go through rewarming, I noticed there's like spots of skin that are super, super dark purple blue,
Yeah.
and it looks like a really bad bruise. And I always
Oh.
wondered what those were. And they're the histamine reaction from my allergy that are showing through my skin and
Oh my
blotches. And
God.
I thought, okay, so now it makes sense why this stuff is
Very-
showing up. It's nothing to worry
That's
about because I'm
fascinating.
allergic. So it's like a normal reaction for my body. So
Oh
it was
my
just
God.
like a super cool
That is fun.
experience.
That's learning.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
yes.
Hypothermia is fun.
It can be fun. So,
It
but the
can be
actual
fun.
swim, the swim was horrendous. It was the worst, or one of the worst, like one of the worst, if not the worst swims performance wise I've had in my life. Just because
Wow.
nothing felt right. My
Yeah.
stroke fell off. Like everything that I wanted was for an experience was not there. Um, but I got it done. And so that started me thinking, if I can do this swim under those awful conditions,
Hell yeah.
and when I'm not feeling good, when I've taken 3 weeks off, essentially, when mentally I was kind of checked out from even doing the swim at that point because I didn't think it was going to happen. If I'm properly trained, if I'm healthy, if I have those magic ideal conditions, I am totally capable of
Oh, yeah.
going for and potentially getting the female world record. So that was kind of a
Absolutely.
really great
Yeah.
thought process. You know, I had a really horrible experience that really taught me something too.
Heck yeah.
And
And
I got my pizza afterwards and I sat in the hot tub for 45 minutes and loved it,
I bet.
which is above the recommended sitting limit for a one-time
Yeah.
hot tub experience.
I
But
can go to hell. You're an ice swimmer.
yeah, I loved it. I loved it. And I had
Yeah.
my crew to watch me.
What
So,
swimsuit did you wear for this?
What did I wear? I wore so I had my red alki cap on and I had red bottoms and a hot pink top. So it was
That's
and I had or light pink Crocs. So it was like a red pink
Pink.
ensemble.
Yeah, totally. Which is
so cute.
I looked
Yes.
great.
on
I looked
trend.
great.
Yeah.
Of course you did. Duh.
And Courtney, because she swims year round in a bikini, she's also really tan. So
I'll
those
get there this
neon
summer.
colors just like pop on her skin. It's
Hop
gorgeous.
and
It's
lock.
gorgeous.
Oh my god.
Yep.
You beautiful creature. Oh
I
my
know she
gosh.
really is this beautiful mermaid. So Melissa, what's next? Do you want to talk about it?
Yes, because I said as soon as I was done, I really seriously don't ever have any desire to do a world record attempt again. That has changed.
Absolutely. Duh. Holy
That has
crap.
changed. What I've learned though is that I don't want to the mental toll that this process has taken this year. Let's say hypothetically it happens again next year. The mental toll that ramping up and ramping down for 5 months have taken, the
Ugh.
planning. I mean, it's a sheer miracle the planning even worked out. It's too much. And I don't think I'd ever be successful if I went into a world record attempt position, having 5 months of mental stress leading
Yeah.
up to it. So my
Yeah.
plan is I still want to go for it, but I'm going to go for it when the conditions present themselves. And I don't want the pressure of training for it necessarily. I just want, like, if they happen to be here, then and everything works out, then yeah, we're gonna do it and we're gonna go for it. And I'm happy with that decision right now. What I'm really excited about are some of the mini goals leading up to that. So one of the big things about Tahoe that I learned, I love Lake Tahoe. And I've been told by everybody, including other swimmers, that an ice swim is not possible in Lake Tahoe. When, based on all the storms and how they work with uploading the lake, it is possible. So I'm really excited to explore that next year and just go
Fun.
have a fun ice mile. And I don't believe, I haven't looked through all the data, so don't quote me on this, but I don't believe an ice mile has been done in Lake Tahoe yet. So I'd love to be like the first person to do a Lake Tahoe ice mile. It's been done up in Donner Lake
Okay.
in outside of Truckee, but not in
Right.
Tahoe. So I thought,
Okay.
okay, well, I want to go and have a fun hypothermic experience next year. I want to go I want to go
That's
do
right.
a fun ice swim in a place that I love, that I'm happy every time, with people who are just excited to go to
Yeah.
Tahoe. I mean, who wouldn't want to go to Lake
Right.
Tahoe? So that's the immediate plans. And I kind of feel like as long as I do those ice miles, that's good enough training for the world record attempt.
There you
So
go.
if I'm down there, if the conditions present themselves, if sun in 65 degrees shows up at Lake
Ooh.
Tahoe on the morning of my ice swim, then I'll go for it. So I think if I
Oh,
put
yeah.
myself in the position to be mentally ready, if it does show up, like everything else will just fall into place. And if it doesn't
Beautiful.
happen, then
Yeah.
I
Then
mean,
you have a fun swim out of it at least.
yeah, I have a
Yeah.
fun swim. And then I also really want to focus on helping other people next year. There's a group of ice swimmers who I was mentoring this year, who a few of them went through the qualification swim for the ice mile, but they didn't get an opportunity to
Okay.
swim because the
Yeah.
weather was just awful. So
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to like taking the knowledge I've learned, passing it on to this group, and really supporting them and getting their ice miles done next year.
Oh, that's great.
So lots of good
Wow.
stuff. Fun
What-
swims,
Absolutely.
helping, maybe a world record, who knows?
All the possibilities are just endless.
Yes.
What's one small way you could tell somebody how to push themselves out of their comfort zone?
Yes.
Whew, that is a tough question. How to push yourself out of your comfort zone. You know, the first thing that come to mind is I remember having a conversation a long, long time ago with Randy, who I mentioned. And we were talking, and this kind of leans into a little bit more of the body positivity side. But we were talking about bodies and what they look like. And this was funny going into Tahoe because my support kayaker, who was male and who was, a lot taller, because they're taller, they're going to look thinner in general, even if you're the same weight. When we met some of the other support people, they said, "Oh, and you're the swimmer," pointing up to him. And
Oh,
it was nobody ever assumed I was the swimmer. So that it was interesting, but I thought about Randy, and your question just made me think about him, that we were talking about bodies, what people think of when they look at bodies,
yeah.
and the preconceived notions of what those bodies are capable of. And he said, what I want to do is get away from looking at somebody and thinking about what they're not capable of, and looking at the body and think about what is their body capable of doing.
Yeah.
And then when you start to kind of shift the mind to looking at somebody and judging them positively versus negatively, and thinking, this person looks like this, I wonder what they could do with that type of body. I think thinking about that and thinking about all the things that they could do enables you to start thinking about, well, what could I do with my body the way it looks like? And it enables you to try something. And I think that initial trying of whatever activity it is that you're doing, or whatever you think you may be capable, is a really, really critical first step into getting out of your comfort zone. Because I never thought I was capable of doing ice swimming in general until I thought, well, actually, you know what? My midsection, with it being bigger, that plays a vital role in protecting my organs. And that's an advantage for ice swimming. So thinking about and just looking at what people are capable of doing, and again, judging positively, I think is like a really important first step to start that mental process and thinking about what you could be.
Heck
My
yeah.
God, beautifully said.
That was unbelievable.
Oh,
Gosh.
Melissa,
I am inspired.
Did I just hear Courtney say she's going to do ice swimming?
she
I did.
That's what I heard.
I've already done it actually during this. You've inspired me so much. I have already swum, and I'm phenomenal.
There we go.
So,
There we go.
I'm absolutely inspired. I'm telling you, because we've done the polar plunge at my parents' lake house, which is, in the typical very, very cold North Carolina, Mooresville, during the winter. We'll do that. And I always win. I'm the only one. I'm staying in the water the longest. Everyone else is just weenies. But
There you go.
we haven't done it in years. And I'm like, every time I do it, I'm so grateful for that shock and that because it lights you up, and
Mhm.
I need to get lit up. So I am taking so much out of what you've shared. Like, it's phenomenal. Melissa, just, you are incredible. It is
Yes.
just the coolest.
One final question before we close out, Melissa. And What is one of the nicest things somebody has ever done for you? And it can be recent, it can be from your childhood, whenever.
Big, small.
Yep, doesn't matter.
Oh, there's honestly there's just so many I think about. I think the first thing that comes to my mind is one of my swimmers that I was mentoring, Rose. She was doing her first big marathon swim, and Rose was doing the Catalina Channel. And she was having, just as like all first time marathon swimmers do, she was having a very tough time at the end. And we verbally worked through the issues she was having, and she finished successfully. And a long while later, after she went through and processed all the emotions of the swim, we got together once we were back here in Washington and had, congratulatory party for her, just celebrating her success. And she gave me a card, and I still have the card in the other room, but she wrote something on the card that I still think about today is one of the nicest. So we talk a lot about like how words mean a lot, and it was
Mm.
her words, and she said, I acknowledged that she was hurting. And that
Oh,
acknowledgement of not somebody being super positive saying like, oh, go, you got this, but the acknowledgement and validation of her feelings, and her being aware that I was acknowledging and validating her feelings was so important to her. For her to say thank you and be able to communicate back to me that
Mm.
validation is super, super important. It made me aware that it's okay to, and it's really helpful to people. Again, the words that you put back, it was really, really, I don't know, like her saying that to me made me think, okay, what I'm doing as a coach is right. And
Hell
so
yeah.
I think as a coach, sometimes you always wonder, because you have swimmers and you have people that they don't perform well and they blame you. And,
Oh.
blaming the coach is maybe in some cases like it is fair depending on the circumstance, but 99 times it's a variety of things where the athlete's not successful. And then you have athletes that are successful that don't show gratitude. And then you have
Mm.
athletes that are successful that, they're just shy by nature, and, they don't show gratitude. Like, they're thankful, but they don't show it because it's not in their personality. So I think
Mm.
to have validation as a coach that what you're
Mm.
doing is right, and for that swimmer and the skill set that you're giving the swimmer and the tools that you're giving the swimmer, to hear that back is the nicest thing that anybody could ever do, because you never really
Mm.
find out
Yeah.
like if what you're doing is good. And
yeah.
again, just to have Rose pick out something very specific for
Yeah.
the validation of feelings and thoughts, have her communicate it back to me and make
Mm.
me feel that, okay, what I did was right and good. Like that was
Mm.
probably one of the nicest things anybody has ever done or said.
Oh, I
That's so
love
cool.
that.
Wow.
I
That's
will
so
say though,
cool.
I will also take gifts, and and recently I got a surprise tub of ice cream and Cadbury cream eggs, because my
Oh
favorite
my
holiday
god.
is Easter,
Oh my
specifically for the
gosh.
Cadbury cream eggs. So that's also
Heck
pretty
yeah.
nice too. I'm not
Oh my
gonna
gosh.
I'm not gonna
Is
lie.
it together?
It
Is
was
it a
just in
Cadbury
a
egg ice cream?
No, they're separate, but it was brought
It
together. It's like,
just as
hey, I
good.
saw this in
Yeah.
the store and thought of you. And I thought,
Oh, I
that's
love
pretty
that.
nice too.
Absolutely.
Melissa,
Oh
where can
wow.
people find you?
Well, I have my blog, melissakegler.com,
Okay.
and I actually
Oh,
am going to be updating that as soon as my swim gets ratified. I have not put a post on there. It may be for up to 2 years back. Maybe it's
oh,
a
wow.
year. I
Okay.
don't really know, but I've intentionally not put one on there because I wanted to wait for this swim.
Yeah. Hell
So
yeah.
I cannot wait to write something.
Yeah, you're a great
Yes.
writer too. What's your Instagram handle?
Melissa Kegler.
Okay. All right. So, folks, that's
So
where to find. Hey,
pretty.
That's so nice and easy.
for
I
anybody
love
Yeah.
that's
it.
interested in open water swimming or ice swimming and you want to reach out to Melissa, go ahead and you can find her
Yes.
on Instagram, or you can email us and I will relay the message over to Melissa. And our email is that wasn't the
Or I'll
plan.
just handle
pod
it and let them know how to start and go ahead and get into ice swimming because I pretty much know it now. I'm pretty good. So
I was saying
that's
I'm
right.
gonna have to like jump off this interview in a few minutes, and you can start your next one with ice swimming phenomena, Courtney.
Yes. Let's just go ahead and redo it. Thanks, Melissa. Good to have you. All right. I'm ready.
Melissa, thank you so much for coming on today and sharing your
Truly.
story, your transition from pool swimmer to U.S. record holder.
Insane. Unbelievable.
And especially the fact, and it still always blows my mind when I think of this, you're allergic to cold and you are the U.S. ice swimming champion. So
Yes.
let that
That's a bad
sink in.
bitch. That's a bad bitch.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you,
Thanks.
Courtney. Thank you, Melissa. Until next
Thank you,
time.
Melissa.
Bye.
Have a good one.
Have a great swim.